was always kind of looking down on that. I thought that was really just like stupid tourist behavior, but now I get it. Hi friends, and welcome to another video. We have been to New York. It was my first time and I am still on the adrenaline high. I love that city so much. And you know, you see tourists walking around with like t-shirts or hats. I heart New York. It's kind of like the thing I would not normally do. I would not normally buy all this basic tourist stuff, but in New York, after a few days I got it, because you cannot be in New York and not love it. It's just such an amazing city, and I had really high expectations for it, and it actually topped them. It was unbelievable. So if I get a little bit carried away with enthusiasm, please forgive me, but I really did have the best time, and I think I can say it safely that New York is now on my top list of cities in the world that I definitely want to visit again. In my previous video, I was talking about my shopping wish list, and the fun fact is that apart from some Apple products, I got Apple Pencil and some batteries and things like that. I got something for my Apple Watch, and I have two Tom Ford lipsticks, and that was it. That was my shopping for two reasons. First, we had so much fun because we did everything. We were there for 12 days and we kind of had a list of things we wanted to do, but it was not like day by day because obviously you have to calculate the weather. So we went to Brooklyn Bridge, Empire State Building, Statue of Liberty. We went to all of the big museums, Met, of course. We went to Rise, New York, which was a great museum. I have to say I had fun, especially in the ride at the end. But the one part you probably will not hear on YouTube is that it's so crowded. You wait all the time. First you wait to get in, then you wait for one room and for the next room, and then we waited for like half an hour. It was in the room where they have all the musicals from Broadway, so it was a fun wait, let's say, because you know there were like 5 or 6 main musicals on display and like trailers and things and costumes. But we were in there for like half an hour waiting to go into the next room where the ride actually is. So it's New York, so obviously you're gonna wait in lines all the time. But it's one thing to wait in line outside before you get in. It's a whole nother story to wait in line in every single room. So just keep it in mind if you're gonna go to this museum. It is worth it for sure. It's a pretty cool museum, but just keep it in mind it's gonna take you probably half a day. And if you go at the top of the tourist season, which is usually towards the end of May and all through the summer, you're gonna lose a day for that. Just gonna keep it in mind. So then we were walking around everywhere because I am a film and a TV buff. Obviously we went to film locations, and we visited Carrie's steps because why not. Then we visited a friend's apartment, and we went to it's like fire station or police station, I forgot, but it's like one of the stations that kind of gets blown out in one of the Die Hard movies. It's the one with Simon Says. I think this is Die Hard 3. It's fun to see. It's actually standing in the middle of the plaza, so it's not like around the corner, but it's really, if you don't know what it is, you're not gonna know. But that was fun too. And then we went to a High Line. I mean, that was pretty awesome. We went to, what else did we do? Oh, we went to Little Island. I love that island because it actually looks like Stiletto Hills if you look at it, like, you know, shoes. So obviously I have to go and visit that island. And another thing that I really enjoyed was just walking around. I mean, we went to Central Park I think like 4 times. I initially had like 1 day set aside for that. But because we had so many things to do, I didn't want to spend one whole day there, so I just went like do something in the morning and then just hang in Central Park in the afternoon. So we had so much fun that it was 2 days before we were about to leave that I realized that I actually didn't go to any of the shops, which is, you know, fine, because like I said, my main plan was to have fun. But I did want to check some things out. So I went to Michael Kors shop. That's the one that's on the side of the Rockefeller Center. And I was shocked at the prices. I mean, maybe it's naive of me to think that American designer is going to be cheaper in America, but it makes sense to me that the prices will be lower. They were actually higher. I'm going to show you here. Please don't laugh, because this is the worst outfit I ever wore in my entire life. This, I watched it online, the crop shirt and the trousers. I thought, okay, because the trousers are really tight and the shirt is big, it's like loose fit, it should work on me because I have bigger breasts. Usually I can't wear this type of shirts because I just look amazingly fat in them. And I saw that exact shirt online in Europe for around, I think it was like 70 euros, something like that. And in Michael Kors New York, it was $90. So another interesting thing was that we were actually at the Met on Sunday before the Met Gala on Monday. And, you know, certain areas, of course, were closed. We actually see some of the things being filmed, like interviews and things, like behind the screen, but you can see that they were there. And we saw some of the tents being put out for the, obviously, red carpet. So that was kind of interesting, too. And the Met, I mean, for me, I almost cried when I saw the Degas ballerina. That's the statue that I've seen first on, you know, obviously in books when I was like probably 10. And to me, that was always like the piece of art to see. So in Met, I had a blast. I think we were there for like the whole day. And when I saw it live, when I saw it with my own eyes, I was just so moved. And it's really cool because it actually has an actual fabric tutu, you know. That was one of the reasons why I was attracted to that statue. And in the next room you can see little statues of the guy practicing how the statue will turn out when, you know, it's the done bigger deal. And that I didn't know, that he tried so many different variations of ballerinas before he casted that main one. So for me, that was definitely a highlight of New York. They also had 14 Vermeers, and there are only 34 in the world. So well done, Met. That's amazing. We also saw Rembrandt, Van Gogh. There were a lot of, you know, world-known pieces of art that we all know since probably high school, if not before that. And to finally be able to see them with my own eyes was really, really amazing. I've been to, you know, big galleries like Louvre and in London once, and in Italy, of course. But certain pieces were always held in America, so I'm very glad that finally I was able to see them. So that's kind of like in a gist our trip to New York. I definitely had fun, and I have to confess, I definitely was a regular tourist, and there's nothing wrong with that. You cannot not be a typical tourist in New York. You just can't. There's just so many things to see and do. It's pretty expensive, obviously. I mean, it's New York, so we kind of calculated that we're gonna pay a lot of money on the tickets. And we tried to find like a package deal, but when they have like certain passes, the combination they offered, it just didn't work for us, because they would offer like you can visit 5 things, but we actually only wanted to see 2 of that. So even if you pay less, you still pay more because you go and see things you otherwise wouldn't. So for me, that kind of like deal didn't make sense. So we just paid every entrance fee as it goes. Before I leave you, I'm just gonna, in case you are planning to go to New York, Statue of Liberty. We were there when it was not like high tourist season. It was still crowded, but it was not anywhere near how crowded it gets later in the year. And it still took us about an hour and a half to get through the line, through security, onto the ferry, and then finally to both islands, to the island with the statue and then the Ellis Island, of course, with the museum. I think the wisest thing would be to actually hire a boat and just drive by, take your photos, and, you know, price-wise, it's going to be similar, maybe slightly more, because to go to, as of April 23, prices were to go to ferry and to the both islands and the museum is $24, I think, around 24. And then you have to top that if you want to go on to the pedestal, and then even more if you want to go up in the crown, which is not open every day. It's going to take you all day, that's for sure. We were there, like I said, that it was not too crowded, and it still took us about 6 to 7 hours, the whole thing, like from the second we stood in line to the time we got back. So it is definitely a day that you're gonna have to spend on that. It's worth it. Obviously, it's Statue of Liberty, so you cannot not go see it, but just keep it in mind that, you know, obviously it's a big tourist city and lines are everywhere. Also, another tip I had from my friends who live in New York, they said if you're riding the subway and it's really crowded, but that there's like one compartment that is empty, it's empty for a reason, so don't go in there. Thank you, friends, for watching. I hope I took you with me to New York a little bit at least. Have a lovely day wherever you are, and I will see you in the